I originally aimed this book at young adults because I felt that they were the adults of tomorrow, and some of them are extremely active and could do something about the abuse that the animals are subjected to. So I wanted to encourage awareness, first of all, and then to, with a bit of luck, inspire some action or some willingness to act. And I have been very surprised to find that it's not just young adults, the sort of 12 to 16 age range, that are reading this book, but all sorts of ages. And that gives me great heart. I feel very, very pleased and encouraged by that. But I'm still hoping that there will be actual action. Well, as I think I mentioned earlier, I was a very solitary child. I grew up alone. And I read a great deal from about the age of 4 as a means of escape to another world. And I still think that children today, all sorts of age groups, are missing out if they don't read widely and as much as they can, because it is a means of a marvellous escape to another world. I also think they should read as widely as possible. And from reading, for me, came the urge to keep a diary. I kept a diary. I wrote snatches of poetry. I wrote odd bits and bobs. I had ideas for short stories, so I had all sorts of jottings all over the place, which one day I was going to turn into a story, and perhaps after that a novel. And that's how it happened. And I've been writing since about the age of 8 or 9, really, in one way or another. I would have been very tempted to say an elephant, because they are such sensitive family creatures. But their numbers are being decimated. It'll only be another 10 years before they become extinct as a result of the ivory poaching that is so widespread, which saddens me greatly. So I think I wouldn't, for that reason, choose to be an elephant. I'm also concerned about tigers and rhinos because, once again, they are being abused and used, sometimes for the wrong reasons. The Chinese, for example, think that the tigers have substances in their bodies that are going to be very beneficial medically. And that's actually wrong, because it has been shown that there is no particular medicinal value in those substances. And what the Chinese are looking for could easily be produced by artificial means. So that cuts out tigers. You say animal, I'm actually tempted to say a bird. And a bird because of the freedom of flight. And I would choose something like a goshawk or an osprey, something that had power in its flight and could fly all over the world. Well, I certainly have plans. I've written the first 2 chapters of 2 books for adults, and I actually have planned in outline book 2 of Mary Darling, which is a possibility, but certainly not a certainty at this stage, because there are too many other factors involved. The adult books are psychological thrillers, and I can't say when readers could expect to see them published. I wish I could, but I have to finish them first, and then I have to find a publisher. It's up in the air at the moment. One of them would certainly be David Attenborough, because of his love for wildlife and animals. He is the most fascinating and lovely man, so he would certainly be one of them. I would also like to have Jane Austen there, because her writing is so polished and penetrating, so perceptive. She's such an observer of human nature that I would find her company very inspiring. And probably the third one would be a modern writer. And I have to think about that one, because there are 3 or 4 who are candidates for this, and I haven't quite made up my mind. But I'll think about it and let you know. Now this is based on bitter experience. I would say to them that the first thing they have to be sure of is that they are thick-skinned, that they are resilient, that they can take criticism and bounce back from it, because it hurts. The criticism hurts. Writing is such an intensely personal business that too much criticism is not constructive, it's destructive. And I think, therefore, that a thick skin is essential. Also, the resilience. You must be prepared to bounce back. So those 2 are essentials. Then there is the need to read as widely as possible. All sorts of writing, because there is, unfortunately, some bad writing around. For all sorts of reasons, writing gets published, and not all of it is wonderful. So it's always good to be able to spot writing that is flawed and to start reading like a writer. And I would say after that, the only other thing is to persevere, to be absolutely determined and persevere, regardless of whether or not you achieve what you want to straight away. Certainly on Amazon, and I have discovered that 1 or 2 people can buy it in bookshops. It is, for example, in the online catalogue for Waterstones. But I'm sure that in any bookshop, even the independent ones, they can go along and order it. It just might take a bit longer to get it. Amazon is the fastest way of getting it, and dare I say it, probably the cheapest. L.M.D'Mello is my Facebook page. It's an author page, and any developments will appear on that page.